Hi and welcome. Welcome to the Action team. As chairman and founder of Action, it's my pleasure to invite you to join a team of great people. You know, the team you've joined is an amazing team of people. You know, thousands of us around the world, all growing to really achieve the same end. And it's with that I welcome you to a team of people who are, well, let's go through what our team really looks like by going through simple things like our culture statement and our vision and mission. Firstly, the vision of the company. Many years ago, I sat down and wrote the vision of world abundance through business re-education, really aiming to encapsulate what it was that I wanted to achieve with the Action business. And hopefully by joining the team, you're going to help us do that. Abundance, and let's start with that by word, I suppose. Looking at the world. Well, the world itself was the marketplace I chose because I understood one thing. If you could do something right in one marketplace, then you can do it right across the world. And the world is going to be our market. So far, at the taping, we're in 23 countries. Obviously, we want to boost that and keep growing the Action business to help business owners right across the entire planet. The abundance. Well, where does abundance come from? Well, let's first look at its opposite. The opposite to abundance is scarcity. The scarcity mentality that came from the Christian minister Thomas Malthus, who was essentially one of the world's first economists, who said that scarcity is this, and if you've studied it at school or if you studied it at college, you'll understand the same as I do, that economics is a study of the allocation of scarce resources, and you probably got 1 point on your examination for that. What Malthus did was he studied in England the growth rates of the population versus the growth rates of food production, and he worked out that there was going to be a scarcity. That scarcity mentality has pervaded every single part of our life today, that there's not enough. If you go back to 1971, a famous group called the Club of Rome came together and predicted that the world would run out of oil in 90 years. Here we are almost 30 years later, and no, we're not, well, more than 30 years later, and we're not running out of oil. You know, you have to understand that technology is definitely a crippler to the scarcity mentality. Everything that seems to become scarce, we get our technology together and we fix it. So understanding the scarcity is one mindset, abundance is the other mindset. Abundance is the mindset of that there is always enough to go around. In fact, there's more than enough to go around. One of my greatest teachers ever, Buckminster Fuller, Bucky would always say he played a thing called the world game. And you had to add up the resources of the world and divide it amongst the people of the world, and everyone was a millionaire. And when you understand that abundance is there. There is plenty to go around. In fact, there's more than enough to go around. Understanding that abundant thinking. It's like water and food. You know, you can grow enough food to, in a high-rise building, for goodness sake. We don't need land anymore. There's all these things that have disproved that whole scarcity theory. The challenge is many of us still live with that. The win-lose scarcity mentality is one of a bygone era. And today it's really about abundance. So part of what we're aiming to do with Action is teach that abundant thinking across the planet. And it starts with you. It starts with you thinking abundantly, and it starts with me thinking abundantly and making sure that we understand and attract to ourselves those abundant thoughts, and therefore abundance of clients, and grow the business at quite a phenomenal rate. World abundance through business re-education. What does that mean? Business was the target market that I chose, primarily because A, it was what I knew, B, they're willing to pay for the services, and C, through small and medium business you can actually get far faster results and get to affect a much greater percentage of the community than you would imagine. The number of small businesses and small business owners is phenomenal. So we keep working with that segment of the marketplace and we'll do really well. Now, then I use the word re-education rather than education. Why? Well, in my mind, there's a misunderstanding of the word education. Education comes from the Latin root, educare, meaning to draw out. Whereas when I went to school, and it was referred to as education, but it was really schooling. When I went to school, there was no drawing out of knowledge. There was a pummeling in, read this book, tell it back to me, and you're smart. What I aim to do with action is not the pummeling in of knowledge. I aim to re-educate, to draw out. First we have to remove the old ways of thinking, and then we can draw out new ways of thinking with the owners of businesses, the team members, yourself, your teammates. Everyone that joins the action business will start thinking in an entirely different way, where world abundance through business re-education can happen. We do it one business owner at a time, one business person at a time. You are another one of those people that we're gradually affecting and starting to educate, or should I say re-educate, around world abundance and the capabilities of it through the business that we work through and through the business owners we work with. And that brings me next to our mission statement. Now, I'll let you go through it in detail, but let me just take care of a couple of points on the mission statement that I've noted here that I think are very important. There's really several areas to it. First one describes our team. Positive, successful, committed. These are words that are in essence of who we are. Balanced, integrated and honest. We work within our 14 points of culture, which I'll go through in each one of those in just a moment and give you my understanding of them. And that's really important as well, because working through our culture allows us to impact people in a much far longer term perspective. If all someone gets is our culture, then long term we know we've been successful. The education may die out, or the knowledge they learn may die out, but the culture that we live may live on with them forever. We're in the business of edutainment, and we play in co-opetition with others. Co-opetition came from me. The word competition, again, its root is to strive together. But I think in today's world, it's become beat up on someone so you win type thing. You know, it's the win-lose mentality of competition. So that's why I use the word co-opetition, where we cooperate with our competitors so we both end up succeeding far better. To strive together, in essence, is what it does. Good competition is very healthy to every business that's out there. It makes us get better, keeps us on our toes, and the good co-opetition where we build the industry together. Edutainment. Why do I use the industry of edutainment rather than education or entertainment? Education got to a point where being boring was okay, no longer. I believe that education should be entertaining, and therefore we get far better response from our clients. We get far more clients, we get more referrals, and people keep coming back. So that's where edutainment comes from. Another one that is a very important point, we create that fun learning environment. You know, I know that coming to work every day and being part of the action team, you know, you can see it as work, but you can also see it as the fun part, you know. For me, it's got to be fun. You've got to enjoy what you're doing, and the more you enjoy what you're doing, the far better off you're going to be. So stick with that fun element to your work, add that fun element to your work, and do enjoy yourself. It's part of our culture, and yes, I expect you to do it. I know that seems weird, but that's just part of who we are. We'll educate our clients in world-class marketing and business development techniques using audio, video, training. World-class, though, is the important point in there. Let's keep it that way. Let's make sure everything we do is world-class. Whatever you put out there to the marketplace, make sure it's world-class. Make sure everything that you build, that you create, that you send out, that you do with a client, keep it that way, world-class. The next point that I want to draw out is the most effective training methodologies. The reason we use coaching, the reason we do workshops rather than just speeches from behind a podium, these things are done because they're effective methodologies. Not just entertaining, but effective as well. I think that's a very important point to consider. Our clients, whether they're small, medium or large in size, will have a desire to have us help them in achieving their goals. Now that's vital. Everyone you work with as an Action client, as a teammate of Action, has a desire to have us help them. You know, you can't work with people who don't want help. Work with those who really want the help. Don't try and push yourself. It's too hard to try and push yourself on those who don't want it. Keep seeking those who do want the help, and you will do far better. The next point, they'd be forward-thinking, willing to learn and grow, and willing to work as a team player in the development of an organisation of people. There's no such thing as a business on the planet. What there is a group of people who come together to perform certain tasks. We call it a business. but it's still people that create it. So always remember that you're in a team of people and that they are human beings. You do not want to talk with them in ways that would negatively impact human beings. Treat others as you'd like to be treated yourself. These things are vital, and the clients we work with, the team members we have, it's all vital that we understand we're a group of people working towards our goals, and that pride, we want to make sure that people know we're proud of them. We want to make sure people know that we're excited by what they're doing. So that's why within the action culture we use the term well done. If you haven't read that book, it's probably a good one to read. Where, saying well done to people is far more motivating than telling them what they did wrong. Keep focusing on what they do right. You can't train a whale by beating it over the head. You've got to keep training it on what they can do right. Our clients will be selected more on attitude. These things are important to us. We will teach them, we'll offer them the most practical, most applicable and fastest strategies on growth, most importantly because we mean what we say. Look, we're not here to help people not grow their business. We're really here to help them grow their business. And whatever we look for is assisting them in growth. Just maintaining the status quo is not enough. Growth is what we're shooting for. And the last line of our mission, we'll give people back their spirit and freedom through business development. It's a big statement, but it's true. Our business owners that we work with, in many cases, they've lost that spirit, they've lost that freedom. They really want to get back to that core of who they are and get excited again about business, get excited again about what life can entail for you. And if we can be the catalyst to giving them back that spirit and freedom, to getting them back to their heart, to getting them back to what they enjoy about life, their passion, if you can be that person, then you're going to live our mission day in, day out. So that takes us on to the next point. And that's our culture statement here at Action. The 14 points of culture. I'll just go through each of them in a little bit, and you can make sure you read them in detail. My suggestion with these 14 points of culture is that you have them somewhere where you read them out loud to yourself or to a group every day. Do it with your team. Once a week on a Monday, focus on one of these areas and read through it. And ask yourself, how would you rate yourself on that? What can you do to get better at it? The culture is supposed to be a living document. It's not something to be on the wall. It's something that every day we live, we breathe. We read it, we get more entrenched in it. It becomes more of who we are, and we become more of it every single day. So read this culture statement. Keep it somewhere by your desk. I want to, when I walk into your office, see this culture statement as something that you live and breathe. See it as part of who you are and part of who your business is. Number one point of culture, and it's number one for a reason: commitment. I am committed. I give myself and everything I commit to 100% until I succeed. Why would we attempt something if we're not going to give it 100%? No use. Give it 100% all the time. I'm committed to the vision, mission, culture and success of Action International, its current and future team and its clients at all times. I always recommend products and services of Action prior to going outside the company. Stay clear that you're committed to this team. You give it your all, yourself, your teammates, and really be a part of what Action is all about. You will notice that as you improve using this in the business, you'll improve using it in your life. It'll make some big changes for you. Second point on our culture statement: ownership. Ownership, how do I put this? Very simply put, and if we take a look at it, I'm truly responsible for my actions and outcomes, and I own everything that takes place in my work and my life. I am accountable for my results, and know that for things to change, first I must change. So big statements in there. I'm truly responsible for my actions and outcomes. Look, within the Action group, the worst thing you can do is try and cover up a mistake. The number one thing you do is own up to it and look for a solution. That's the way we work. That's the culture we live. I'm accountable for my results. People can come to you and say, did you achieve? And you're accountable for that. If you did, you get congratulated. If you didn't, you look for a way to find the solution to get there. I know that for things to change, first I must change. Self-explanatory. Make the change. Next point of culture, integrity, right up the top there again. I always speak the truth. What I promise is what I deliver. No, don't do this over-promising and under-delivering to me, to your boss, to your clients, to whomever it is you work with. Stick with understanding that we under-promise and over-deliver. I only ever make agreements with myself and others that I'm willing and intend to keep. Very simply put, why tell me you're going to meet me at 7 o'clock if you know full well you're going to be late? Willing and intend to keep. I communicate potential broken agreements at the first opportunity. If it's 5 to 7 and you're still an hour away and you just realise you haven't met me yet, call me then. Don't wait until 7:15 to call me. As soon as you recognise, clear up any broken agreements. You know, and if you did make a mistake and you did forget, then just call the person and tell them, you know what, I totally forgot. Start with that point and you'll do very well with your integrity and making sure you live with the culture of action. Culture point number 4. Excellence. Good enough isn't. I always deliver products and services of exceptional quality. Now, as a coach, that means we've got to become exceptional at coaching. We've got to gain the knowledge. Always look to add value to all involved for the long term, not just a short-term quick fix. I look for ways to do more with less and start a path of constant and never-ending improvement and innovation. You know, no matter how good the system is, we're always going to someday find a better way. Keep looking for it. Keep searching for it. Keep doing the work you need to do, but also, on the flip side, keep looking for other ways to grow yourself and the company. Point number 5. Probably my most important point, I think, to keeping a team together. Communication. I speak positively of my fellow team members, my clients and Action International in both public and private. There's no need to say anything negative about people. It just reflects on you more than it does on them. I speak with good purpose, using empowering and positive conversation. I never use or listen to sarcasm or gossip. You know, you may think it won't hurt someone, but it just might. So why take the risk? I acknowledge what is being said as true for the speaker at that moment and take responsibility for responses to my communication. Look, why argue with someone that what they believe to be true is true in their mind? Don't tell them they're wrong, just debate the topic. I greet and farewell people using their name. What's more important to someone than their name? I always apologise for any upsets first and then look for a solution, and I only ever discuss concerns in private with the person involved. 2 very important ones there. Number 1, if you've upset someone, say I'm sorry. When they say I'm sorry, say I forgive you. When someone says I'm sorry, don't rub it back in their nose. Yeah, of course you should be. That's just a waste of everybody's time and energy. Starts fights. When someone says I'm sorry, say I forgive you. Now, next point. If you do have a problem with someone, if someone hasn't delivered on something, talk to them. Don't discuss it with other teammates. Don't go into collusion with someone. Don't go on and sending emails about negatives. Forwarding a negative email or forwarding negative comments, that's gossip again. Let's get away from that. Let's live this culture and work to this culture. We're not going to be perfect, but we're going to aim to do our best. Point number 6, one of my more favourites, success. Vital to the growth of our business. I totally focus my thoughts, energy and attention on the successful outcome of whatever I am doing. Now, this one's going to be a struggle for a lot of people. If you're a worrier, this will be a struggle for you. You'll be worried, what could go wrong? Well, how would this go wrong? Focus your attention. Life is very much a self-fulfilling prophecy. Focus on on the successful outcome, and generally you will attract that to you. Keep focused on it. Keep focused on the successful outcome. Stop worrying about the negatives and move forward on the positives. I'm willing to win and allow others to win. I play win-win, in other words. At all times, I display my inner pride, prosperity, competence, and personal confidence. I'm a successful person. You got to be willing to win. You got to be willing to be successful. You got to be willing to receive. You got to be willing to allow others to do that as well. No use being willing to receive if you're not willing to help others succeed. On to point 7. Again, vital to the ultimate growth of our business. Education. books, you can learn from books and seminars and all those things, but also this first line, I learn from my mistakes. You're going to make some, so learn from them. Don't just let them be a part of what you're doing. Learn from your mistakes. I consistently learn, grow, and master so that I can help my fellow team members and clients learn, grow, and master too. Constant, never-ending improvement. That's part and parcel of being a part of the Action team. Constant, never-ending education is as well. I'm an educator, and I allow my clients to make their own intelligent decisions about their future, remembering that it is their future. I impart practical, usable, and knowledge rather than just theory. Probably self-explanatory. So let's move on to point 8, teamwork. Being part of a team, you've got to understand what teamwork is. I am a team player and a team leader. So there's times when you're going to need to lead and step up and lead. There's other times when you need to follow and be a player. Don't mistake the two. When the ball is passed to you, you're the leader. I do whatever it takes to stay together and achieve team goals. That's an interesting one, isn't it? Do whatever it takes to stay together and achieve team goals. None of this walking out of the room in the middle of a fight. None of this walking out in the middle of a debate. Keep debating. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. You will eventually get there. I focus on cooperation and always come to a resolution, not a compromise. I'm flexible in my work and I'm able to change what I'm doing, able to change if what I'm doing is not working. I ask for help when I need it, and I'm compassionate to those who ask me. That one there was a struggle for me, and that's probably why I had to write it into the culture, to be compassionate when someone needs help. Always remember that you weren't always a genius from day one. The longer you've been on the team, obviously, the more chance you have of being more successful and having people ask you questions. Be compassionate to those who are just starting out. Always remember that. Point number 9. Again, probably one that a lot of people struggle with, especially in business, of balance. Keeping that balanced approach, that your family, your health, these things are just as important as your business and your financial information. The last line though here is very important. I complete my work and my most important tasks first, so that I can have quality time to myself, with my family, and also to renew. Too often people take this whole balance thing and throw it in your face and use that as an excuse not to do their work. Do your work first. Make sure you get it done, and then you can be balanced. If you don't do your work when you need to do it, life will never be in balance. It'll always be a struggle for you. So make sure you focus on that and keep yourself focused on getting the work done first. Then you can have time to yourself and with your family. Point number 10, or culture point number 10. Let me bring it up for you. Fun. Yes, I mentioned it already. I view my life as a journey to be enjoyed and appreciated. And I create an atmosphere of fun and happiness so all around me enjoy it as well. Whenever you come to a conference, whenever you get together with other action people, you'll very quickly learn that fun is part and parcel that goes with our way of life. So on to the next one. Point number 11, systems. I'll just say here very simply, we have a lot of systems of action of how things get done. Learn them, follow them, and follow them. Now, if there's no system for it, yes, you're going to have to create one. However, there's generally a system for it. Ask someone who knows, find out what it is, learn it, follow it. Now, if you've been using it for 2 or 3 years and you think it could be updated and upgraded, then do it then. But don't try and change it from day one. Give yourself a year or two at least with that system before you try and change it. Next one, consistency. I talked about getting your work done first. Well, consistency again is all about that. I'm consistent in my actions so my clients and teammates can feel comfortable in dealing with me at all times. I'm disciplined in my work so my results, growth and success are consistent. That discipline and consistency is what breeds long-term success. Having 1 good week and 3 bad weeks, or 3 good weeks and 1 really bad one, is not consistent. Get the discipline and the consistency to have long-term success in your work and your life. Point 13, gratitude. Let me read this word for you because I think it's important. I'm a truly grateful person. I say thank you and show appreciation often and in many ways so that all around me know how much I appreciate everything and everyone I have in my life. How often do you say thank you? How often do you tell someone you love them? How often do you make sure that people know that the work they did was appreciated by you? I celebrate my wins and the wins of my clients and team. if you have a success in life, don't just say, okay, on to the next one. Take time to reflect, enjoy, celebrate, and feel successful. It will make it better. The next task you go on to will feel better because of it. I consistently catch myself and other people doing things right. You know, in most work situations or most companies, what they find is people doing it wrong. They'll catch you doing it wrong. That's not the way we do it at Action. Culture point number 14, abundance. Comes straight from our vision statement, world abundance. So it's got to be part of who we are in our culture. I'm an abundant person. I deserve my abundance and I'm easily able to both give and receive it. Now, how often might you need to say that to yourself before you get it? Again, take your culture statement, print it out, read it out to yourself, day in, day out loud, morning and night. I allow abundance in all areas of my life by respecting my own self-worth and that of all others. I'm rewarded to the level that I create abundance for others, and I accept that abundance only shows up in my life to the level at which I show up. That's right. Your life, your job in life is to be the best you can be. And to the level with which you show up as the best you can be is to the level with which abundance shows up for you. Joining the Action team is something that long term you will never ever understand the benefits of how far you will come. 3, 4, 5 years from now you'll look back and wonder just how fast life has gotten. I'm glad you've joined the Action team. I hope you'll get as much out of it as you give back to it. Make sure that giving and receiving stay in balance with this team. Keep yourself growing. Keep the company growing. Focus on the profitability of the company so that we can all be around for the long term. And make sure that whatever you do your job well. Work hard, be the best you can be, and you'll have great results for yourself and for Action. Thanks for joining the team.